the Boston Red Sox pounce because Alex Bregman blinked. Scott Boras, despondent. He thought last year was the end of his players having to take short-term deals with opt-outs. Too bad after Juan Soto, it happened again. We saw Pete Alonso sign with the Mets for about 54 over 2 with an opt-out after 1, making $30 million, no deferrals year 1, back to the Mets. Alex Bregman waiting. Rumors from people like Boras. He's got offers. He's got 6-year offers, way more than what the Astros offered earlier, and then he turned down. What a coincidence that it gets reported that Alex Bregman had offered about $171 million from the Tigers. Woo! That's just about more than what the Astros were offering earlier for 6 years that he turned down. So now Scott Boras has it out there. Hey, I can't control the fact that my client wants to be in Boston and not Detroit. He obviously felt that this was a better situation for him. He felt this was a better contract for him. This isn't about me being ineffective. This is about a player making a choice. So you Tigers fans out there, don't despair. What about the Astros? They wanted him back. Apparently the Astros offered him money too. Apparently they were still willing to go to 6 years. They were still willing to beat the 156. Yet still Alex Bregman goes on the I'll bet on myself with $40 million a year from Boston, totally deferred, that I'm going to have a great year hitting doubles off the Green Monster. And I'm going to wake up 1 year older and I'm going to be Matt Chapman, who's got the Giants somehow to bail him out and sign him long term. Maybe I'll have such a good year that I can be Blake Snell and get the Dodgers to bail me out, because the Dodgers have such great need for position players. Maybe that'll be the case next year if he opts out. Well, of course, Alex Bregman chose to sign with the Red Sox. People said, look, $120 million, 3 years, 2 opt-outs. Wait, here's the math, $40 million a year. Stop it. You've got to look at the deferrals. You've got to take the discount rate, present value back to today, and that is the amount of money for the contract. Until we see what the actual payment schedule is, then nobody should have a comment on what the amount of money per year Alex Bregman's getting. And frankly, it goes the same with the rumored offers of 6 years, 170. What if that were payable over 30 years? The Red Sox, who are trying to renew the rivalry with the Yankees in a pretty tough American League East, they've made some moves this winter that some people have said, look, John Henry and Tom Werner are back to trying. I've been pretty resolute in my view that the Red Sox have been hugely successful under John Henry's stewardship and Tom Werner's stewardship. Multiple rings in a matter of this century, which is just a quarter old, is a positive. The criticism they get for not spending enough here, for putting money extra into their other assets, I've always maintained, stop mixing apples and oranges and showing jealousy about another business because it's not related to the business that you're supposed to be looking at. The profitability of Liverpool or the Penguins, wink, wink, does not impact the profitability of the Red Sox. And the reality is all the cash that was coming into the Red Sox through their network, through Nesson, it's pretty much the Sahara right now. But the Red Sox decided this seems like a comfortable risk for us. Risk. I love when owners are willing to entertain the notion of risk when teams are owned by people who actually use risk as one of their main inputs into their decision-making in everything else they do in life, from marriage to business. I've often spent time speaking to owners about this concept. How do you measure your risk tolerance? And how do you come to grips with the change of your risk tolerance given the particular asset that you are looking at? And what is consistently told to me, and actions certainly say this, is that there is an inverse correlation between the intolerance of risk and the amount of fun for the underlying item. So, for example, a yacht. It's very costly. People always say when you own a yacht, you're basically flushing money down the drain. The minute you back the yacht out of the lot, it lowers in value by 60%, the upkeep of the yacht, etc. So why is it that people have yachts when you could just rent a yacht? Shad Khan, we saw Darren Ravel give a tour of Shad Khan's yacht in New Orleans, that huge $370 million yacht with a helipad, this and that. Why does Shad do it when he could rent a yacht however often he wanted to do it? Well, you do it because it feels good, you love it, you're happy, you don't mind the risk. With players, it seems to have been the same, where owners say, listen, I know he's injury prone, I know this is an overpay, but man, this just feels right. Feels good when I can announce a free agent signing and I get to say that I'm involved, or I get to say that my team can win 91 games or 89 games and that we can make the playoffs and maybe win a World Series and get another ring and enhance my legacy. No one thinks that when they're buying stocks or when they're buying derivatives. You're thinking about making money. Have you ever thought about that? People who are investors, whether they're day traders or crypto investors, do you think that anybody's doing anything? Sometimes they say this, I am only going to invest in environmentally sensitive companies. I'm only going to put my time and money into companies who share the same view of human rights that I do. You don't know anything about the companies you invest in. Let me start there. Number two, what you're really looking at is rate of return. You're looking at growth. You're saying, hey, I can't really stand Mark Zuckerberg, but my God, that stock goes up. What is it, 18 days in a row? I'm loving it. I'm in. You know I'm in. It's totally fine. Just wear it. If you're John Henry, just wear the fact that, hey, Bregman fell to us. Alex Cora can talk about how excited he is for a reunion. They can talk about the fact that they already have a third baseman in Rafael Devers, who's their cornerstone player. Bregman's value is as an above average third baseman, but no, they're going to move Bregman to second base because God forbid you move your existing player, which I tried to do and it screwed up a whole season. You genuflect towards your existing player. You tell the new player he's got to make a change, and you're devaluing the player by changing him. I love that. Think about as a second baseman, which is a much less valuable defensive position. The people who are playing second base, they ain't making $40 million. Altuve, who's going to go between second base and left field for his new team, old team, the Houston Astros, 4.869. Jose Altuve, the Hall of Fame second baseman for the Houston Astros, he's only at $32.5 million. And he's the highest paid. Simeon, that free agent signing by the Rangers, 26. Bogarts, that overpay by the Pods, 25. There's like only three others who are making more than 17. Of course, Bregman's not coming in at 40 to play second base. But they're not going to move Devers. They learned from the Marlins, don't you move Hanley. Don't you do it.